hear the truth about America on a show that's not immune to the facts with your host, Dan Bongino.
It's a little different today. And the great Steven Crowder studio. Look at this place. They got a legit studio. We got brick walls and shit like that. Look at this stuff. Got a fireplace. Is that a real fire? Let's roast some freaking marshmallow. Get some s'mores in here. And by the way, I look really nice too. Well, I mean, I don't mean in that way. I mean, obviously I got a face for radio. But Kim, the makeup artist, she's like a professional. I usually do my own makeup. That's why I look like shit every day. Look at this. Shy, no blemishes with this face. It's all like blending in nice. I want to thank first the Crowder team. I'm in his studio today. He's been kind enough to have us. I got Steve. Bring him in a minute. But it's going to be a stacked show, man. I'm super excited. We're going to cover this election. We're going to cover some self-defense stuff so you don't get whacked out in the street. We're going to cover the police state and their monster breaking news story. By the way, I want to acknowledge the team. The Crowder team broke. In case you forgot that, in cable news with the manifesto that they were hiding. And we'll cover some more stuff, so don't go anywhere. My Pillow, they're soft and absorbent 100%. Long staple Sherpa cotton 6-piece set. It's only $29.98 with promo code Dan. Go to mypillow.com right now. Click on the radio podcast specials or call 1-800-637-4982. So we're in the Crowder studio today. Traveled out to Dallas. Got a book signing here tomorrow in Grapevine Mills Mall. Hope to see you all there. We've been packing the house with these things for my new book, The Gift of Failure. That is tomorrow at 2 p.m. local time, Grapevine, Texas. Hope to see you out there. Let's get this party started, man. So the first thing I want to cover is election 2024, because I know how I feel about it. You all know my take. But there's a guy who's been around this space a lot longer than me. You may know who he is because his name is on the freaking wall behind me. I'm stealing his studio right now. By the way, we're streaming on both of his channels, on both channels, ours and theirs. Want to welcome into the show in his own studio, the legend, Effing Steven Crowder. Good to see you, brother, with your strange animal shirt on.
I love how you said shit like 5 times, but then said effing.
It's a fucking...
But I don't think... Yeah, I know.
You can say fuck, too.
You can say whatever you want. You can say we're crossing the stream, so we're breaking all the rules.
There's no FCC.
But you look good. Cancer looks good on you.
Like that. I told you, it was like some fertilizer.
Yes.
Don't you think?
It just metastasized.
That's the greatest opening line.
Handsome.
Dude, you're so fucked up. Is that the best line? Cancer looks good.
That was the first thing I said. Because it's like, I have to. Because it's like, if you don't laugh, you'll cry. Or you'll shrivel and lose all your hair.
Ever. Not to be macabre like this. I told you, this is why I'm giving these guys elements before the show. I'm like, fuck the elements. We're never even going to get to anything.
Macabre? Who are you, Vincent Price?
Yeah.
Not to be macabre.
I took an SAT course. It's the only word I remembered. So I got to pretend I'm somewhat...
No, but you've been doing this you've been around for a long time. I appreciate it. I'm glad you're here, and you're one of the few guys who has the balls to, send people over to Rumble, not play the big tech game. So
yeah, fuck that. I quit those motherfuckers over there. And the funny thing is,
this directed by Scorsese. Is he going to be standing above me like De Niro?
So bad. People, I know I'm going to get so many complaints. My daughter answers emails for us and stuff, and she always gets complaints. Tell them, I know I'm trying, folks. It's the Queens of me, and I'm here with Steve. We go way back. I was telling a story with you before. I met you at CPAC like 12 years ago when you were emceeing. And I don't think people realize, man, you've been in this business a long time. Like, you've seen the entertainment business from the other side. Mm-hmm. It's pretty effed up business. So you want?
I remember that year. I remember that year because I was immediately called to the Fox News second floor with the VPs, and they were going, "You made this joke, you can't say that. You made this joke, you can't say that. You outed Anderson Cooper as gay. That was before he was out as gay." And I said that he was like Gomer Pyle, I think, playing Doctor with Rock Hudson. And something like that, like something that implied he was gay, and they were like, "Can't do that because we all have to, go to parties with him." I'm like, I don't. What does it matter? And now he's out. He lives in a firehouse with his ex-husband.
Well, you're smart though, man. You did what I did. You kind of roll your own way, man. Having a boss sucks, because when you work for yourself, you can only complain to yourself. Like, I'm HR. Yeah. So when I get some shit to say, I just gotta say it to myself.
Yeah. Plus, how Italian are you? Like, what percentage?
50%.
Is a Sicilian in there?
Of course.
Oh, okay. So your forefathers were probably slaves, right? They were Moors being kidnapped.
Palermo.
Coast, yeah.
But the other half is Irish and German. But that.
So why do you look like partially black?
I don't know, but I get that a lot. There was this thing on Wikipedia. He said, "What's it? I used to fuck out of here." I told you.
I'm sorry. Oh, no. Let's talk swing states. Let's talk swing states with the biracial Sicilian.
He gives me this big rundown. He's like, "What order are we going to go?" No order, because it's Crowder. Like, every time I
No, this is your show. This is your show.
No. This is you let me your studio. We're going to stay for your thing too, of course, your show. But I get years ago, there was this list out on Wikipedia of prominent black conservatives, and I was like number 4. And I'm like, how the? But then I was in a weird spot because I'm like, I don't want to pretend I'm denial. I'm like
yeah, exactly.
afraid of it, but then I don't want to be like culturally appropriating
Yeah.
it. So I said to my crew, I'm like, what do we do about this? They're like, nothing, bro.
You just don't
let
say
it roll.
anything.
Whatever. No, I'm Italian, man.
You just like drop some N-bombs every now and then in a rap track and a new sound.
And you're a
new SoundCloud track, and people are like, oh, I guess he is, but fine. And then you're
wait, because I want to ask you about that. Because you and I are like obsessed with this cancel culture thing. That's why we're on Rumble. We respect free expression and all. And you've been talking out about this shit forever, especially the culture wars, right? But I said to Chris at Rumble, the CEO once, and your thoughts on this before we get to the election stuff. I think that's when cancel culture dies. When they come for rap music. You're talking about, Steve, billions of dollars in intellectual capital.
Yeah.
I mean, they're selling music libraries. I saw what Billy Joel sold this for like $400 million. Can you imagine if you're like NWA? That library's worth a fortune, and it gets canceled.
How much did Billy Joel sell for?
I think it was it Billy Joel or Elton John? But $400
for a place up in Hackensack. Is that all you get for your money?
And look, he's the piano man. And look, I mean, Taylor Swift, that thing with the scooter cat. Like, that's $1 billion library.
I know.
Imagine when the entire rap arena, they start looking back and you're like, talking about bees and hoes and all that. When that gets canceled, I think that's the end.
Yeah, I think it's pretty tough. I mean, it's the problem with progressivism, for progressivism's sake, you're just moving forward, right? You're not necessarily moving in a direction with purpose. And so that's why you have, gays for Hamas, basically, right now. Or you have people who have decided that, no, the black people, like you, half of you, who support Donald Trump, they're not real, and so it depends on who's the most oppressed that day, where none of it is a tenable position. You can't say misogyny also support hip hop, the hip hop culture. You can't say, oh, hold on a second, we support Palestine, and then Rashida Tlaib, she had literally a rainbow flag next to a Palestinian flag. She doesn't understand that people are thrown off rooftops. I mean, if her constituency went to Palestine, off the rooftop, it'd be raining men for like a week.
It's the craziest shit. By the way, have you ever sat in the guest seat in your own studio?
I have. Like when I injured my neck, I would sit here because it's tough for me to do that sometimes, and I'm very disruptive. So you can just tell me to shut up in your WAP tone.
This is already. I've already got people like, what the fuck?
Well, just so people know, we are going to be multi-streaming this and then swap places. Dan will be in this chair when we do Louder with Crowder, and I apologize in advance. It's a pretty crazy show.
I can't wait to do your show, so it's going to be fun. All right, so let's get to this election because I want your take. I really haven't gotten your take on this so far. Let me play this first. This happened the other day. So Nikki Haley, Steve, my humble opinion.
You're so Italian. Let me play this first.
I know. I'm trying to
get
his accent.
Let me play this.
I've been out of New York, folks. Seriously, for like almost 20 years. Once I get going with like one of my homies like this, it goes right back to like Savage Queen style. Here's my take on this first. So I love primaries. I think primaries are good things. I think they keep candidates frosty because you know what happens without primaries? You get no media attention and you're not used to getting your ass kicked and stuff. And then when you get into a general, you're soft. I like primaries. But I got to tell you, I think this is the single dumbest effing idea I've seen out of the primary. Democrat or Republican, this is something with like reparations. This is Nikki Haley on an, I'm serious.
You can say it because you have.
This is so bad. This is Nikki Haley wants to basically dox the entire internet. Check this out.
Every person on social media should be verified by their name. That's, first of all, it's a national security threat. When you do that, all of a sudden people have to stand by what they say. And it gets rid of the Russian bots, the Iranian bots, and the Chinese bots. And then you're going to get some civility when people know their name is next to what they say. Accountability. And they know their pastor and their family member is going to see it.
Dude.
Yeah.
What?
I understand the principle, right? In other words, like, for example, Senator Mullins the other day, that's very different. Like, when someone calls you out, like the Teamsters, to say, hey, you're a coward, I want to fight you. That's very different from someone just expressing an opinion. You don't assault someone for an opinion. But I think that people do get away with too much of not, like Mike Tyson said, right? The too many anonymous people are afraid of not getting punched in the mouth. And I think, so I get the spirit of it. But the idea, I mean, this would do away with investigative journalism, which YouTube already has. This would do away with whistleblowers. So I think she's trying to pander to the old GOP, like, tough guy thing. Like, yeah, I don't like that these kids are anonymous, but she doesn't understand the ramifications.
Yeah.
Or maybe she does, and she's just planning, to work for a lobbying group with her exit.
Think about like you and I over at Rumble. Like we got people in my chat, like I got hardcore like chatsters who come in every day. Like we got this McGroin crew.
Yeah.
Holding McGroin, shaking. aching, feeling.
Oh,
No, feel like you'll see them pop in. They're there. Like you'll see them today.
we wouldn't do that.
What if they don't want people to know who the fuck they are? Like,
Yeah.
Say I work in a school and I don't want these kids knowing I'm a Trump supporter, DeSantis guy, or whatever. It's none of your business. Why does the government need to know that shit? You and I be on a list like day one.
Oh,
You know
of course.
that, right?
Oh, I'm already
You
on the list.
especially.
I've been on the ISIS kill list, not just the ISIS kill list, but like the premium frequent flyer list. I'm like ISIS kill platinum.
You're at the top.
Yes,
of that
I am.
motherfucker.
Oh yeah, I
You're
got
not
a call.
even like in a Google search of people to kill. You're on the first.
Yes,
page.
I'm right there.
That's good. That's good.
I had people from.
It's good. They'll come for you first. We're
from the-
safe, Keith. We're
from
going
the
to come for
FBI
you.
back
Waste
then.
a lot of time on
They're
him.
like, oh, they're like, yeah, you are on the ISIS kill list. I said, what? They go, don't worry, like everyone's on the ISIS kill list. I said, but the problem is you're on this other list, which like they actually want to kill. I was like, all right, I was a goof. I did a goof on YouTube. But no, I think this is something that'll probably torpedo her campaign. I mean, obviously I'm not a big Nikki Haley fan. I think she's a decent person, but to do her any favors. I understand the spirit. This is the problem with people who aren't in touch with their voter constituency, and this is why Donald Trump does so well. She thinks it's to work with the old GOP, maybe like the Koch brothers people, the people who, I really like the Republican Party, and we need to send more money to Ukraine. Those people will say, I don't like people being anonymous. I don't either. You and I both know, right? You have no skin in the game. It's easy to be a fake tough guy.
Yeah.
That being said, the consequences of removing anonymity, it would be.
Well, you roll like you actually do jits and stuff. Like I'm gonna get to the self-defense shit later, but you're like you can handle yourself. Like that's the thing. Like
I'm a ham and egger.
when you were rolling in some of these jujitsu places. Sorry, guy. I promise I'll go back to the order eventually. They're like, give me the order to show. I'm like, it's all fucked up already. But you've seen it before. Like I was telling a story the other day on my show. We had this 300-pound lineman. I don't know, he's from Hofstra or whatever. He came into Matt Serra's place. He's like, this shit don't work. So Matt's like picks like the smallest guy. This guy, I don't remember what his name was, Bag of Donuts. So the kid was like 120 pounds. And he's like, I want you to roll with this cat right here. But the guy's like, I'll kick this guy. Give me the biggest guy. No, he goes, not only am I going to give you the small guy, you're going to start on top, full mount. The guy's like, this ain't even fair, bro.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill the kid. This guy was getting choked out, dude. In like 30 seconds, he was like,
People have no idea how easy it is for another person to end your life.
No.
They have no idea. I mean, we'd have people who come in and go, well, I'm a black belt, and my son, who's 14, is also a black belt. Well, congratulations, your check cleared. It's not the same thing.
No.
We would say, go in and roll with our blue belt teenagers. And by the way, this applies to high school wrestlers, to guys who are in a good boxing gym, boxing club, actual combat sports. It's a good thing for a man specifically to get his ass kicked. It's a good thing for a man
100%.
to fail a rep, right? So you realize, there's a certain point where conjecture goes out the window. So there is definitely value in being called to the mat and men being called to the mat. I understand feeling from Nikki Haley, but as a matter of policy, it's functionally retarded, and that's putting it generously.
I love how you brought the show right back to, see that? He's a pro. Because I'm like crazy. Like I had too much coffee already. I'm like all over. I'm ready to jump to like segment 3. All right, I want to show you this first, because while we're on election 2024, listen, you and I are in the content production business. We got to attract eyeballs and earlobes. That's just what we do. If you don't, and I think what I like most about what you and I do working for ourselves is if the show sucks, that's it. Like we can't blame Fox. I can't blame Newsmax. It's you got to blame Steve and I got to blame Dan.
Right.
Sometimes Guy will be like, you know what? That show was no good. And I'll look the next day and I'm like, bro, you're right. That show sucked. Like, we lost 10% of our audience. But the thing is that's politics. So you and I get this. I think nobody gets kind of the finger on the pulse of like the snapshots and sound bites game in politics better than Trump. And a lot of people dismiss shit like this when he walked in the UFC. Play that cut. I want to show you, get your thoughts on this on the other side.
Making his way into the building. One of the bigger mixed martial arts fans President Donald Trump taking his octagon side seat for UFC 295.
Now, listen, I don't want to oversell this thing. DeSantis, a great guy, best governor we ever had. Sure. I like Vivek, a lot of shit he's talking about. But, I was a Trump guy early, and I think it's because you've been in the Republican movement for a long time. These guys just totally do not understand the messaging thing on the establishment side of that.
No, I haven't seen that yet. I've seen the backfighting about it, but I haven't seen any head-to-heads with it yet.
Image is worth $5 million.
Well, you know what? Also, here's the thing: it's genuine. He's been a fight fan for a long time. A lot of people don't realize, when the UFC was struggling in the dark ages, they couldn't buy pay-per-view. They would do it at Taj. Always been a boxing fan. He was honored by Muhammad Ali at his foundation like twice. They were very friends. This is a guy who's always been a combat sports fan. So he's not showing up to, like something gay, like a soccer game. He's showing up something he actually cares about. And by the way, you should also work with a lot. There were some female fights on that.
Yeah.
Love watching the bitches fight. look, they still hit like girls. They still throw punches like softballs. That's what people say. But they're good looking when they fight. They tape it down, but I can still
good at this.
see great tits in that division.
The only one I can do is Bernie. I can't do shit anywhere. I cannot do the millionaires and the billionaires. These motherfuckers. I can't believe these. And with Mark Wayne Mullen the other day, Bernie Sanders, the peacemaker. You're a United States Senator.
Yeah.
Sit your ass down. You are too, you phony. Put on some deodorant.
Well, and then when he gets really mad, it cracks. And that's what we've always said. Like, people used to get mad. My Bernie impression is not Miss Gilbert Godfrey. Like, you two are United States. They're like,
Ah, son of a bitch! Stop acting like children! You filthy!
He does. He gets like a little bit, but no, I think you're right about Donald Trump having his finger to the pulse with a lot of this. Look, I wasn't a Trump guy in those primaries in 2016, and then I saw what happened, and having experienced this too, they are going to come for him. They're going to do to him what they've done to him. They're going to do it to him. And it was something that.
Well, after the manifesto thing, which I'm hoping we get, because this is like the biggest. This is a bigger story that you guys cracked about the Nashville manifesto. It's not about the manifesto. It's about the police state. The fact that they had to go to us, people like you, to get this thing out. I mean, you did. You guys get all the credit in the world. But the fact that had to happen is just so embarrassing. I got a couple spots. I got a reason I got to pay for the show.
You're gonna look for my pillow.
You're gonna hang out.
You're gonna love my pillow.
I did that in the beginning. You missed it. I sleep on it.
Well, let's do my next ad read.
That's a good one. That's kind of weird, man. If you put it behind a curtain, my
voting machine. They're the best voting machine. From the finest Egyptian chipsets.
All right, listen. I've had too many cups of coffee. You tired of the same old bullshit coffee?
Yes.
You are, right? Don't drink blackout coffee. I know this guy. This guy John runs a company. All he cares about is two things. He lets me do whatever I want. He spots this whatever I want because I drink too much coffee. He cares about coffee and he loves the country. I'm proud to recommend Blackout Coffee. It's a coffee company 100% committed to conservative values. From sourcing the beans to customer service. Honestly, just making good coffee. I had Brutal Awakening. You had a brew Total Awakening did it, and believe me, man, that stuff is strong, but never bitter. It's my favorite coffee. I drink about 47 cups a day. I'm kidding. Don't do that. You'll probably have a heart attack, but I do drink a lot. Do me a favor. Check them out. blackoutcoffee.com/bumper.
It should be a dark roast. You could half and half.
What if I told you that may already be worse?
Because I like. Was it Brutal Coffee with brew? Like,
Yeah.
I think, what do they have? Gene Shalit maybe? But what's the promo code? Because we actually run out of coffee. Blackout.
It's blackoutcoffee.com/Bongino. Promo code Bongino. We love promo codes.
Let's use it.
Because you get 20% off.
What orders?
Ditch those other losers. Blackout Coffee remains true to our values. blackoutcoffee.com/Bongino. Use coupon code Bongino for 20% off your floor. Do it now.
That's disrespectful.
Wait, I got my hands disrespectful. Folks, the economy's crap. They've printed a bunch of money. And you know what that means? It means your savings are going to get watered down as inflation goes up. So protect yourself today. Diversify into gold with the help of Birch Gold Group. Listen, when you open a gold IRA, for every $10,000 you spend by December 22nd, Birch Gold will send you a free gold bar. Just text DAN to 989898. Claim your eligibility before Black Friday. Birch Gold can help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into a gold IRA. For no money out, you still get the free gold bars. It's pretty cool. Don't let your savings become a victim of a further devaluation of the dollar. Do what I did. Buy some gold from Birch Gold. Text Dan to 989898.
Yep,
Free.
that's basically it.
And claim your eligibility before Black Friday.
Bring back the duels.
Performance may vary. Consult with your tax attorney or financial professional before making an investment decision. Message and data rates apply. All right, Steve, back to this Trump conversation.
You want to talk shit?
I think you know better than anyone. The Republican Party for the last, 50 years has had a big problem with the black vote and the Hispanic vote. We're dealing with a couple things. One, our messaging sucks, and two, the media constantly calls us Nazis and Hitler and shit like that. Yeah. But Trump seems to have cracked the code. I want to play this cut quick. This is from Fox News Ingram's show about a poll about Latino and Hispanic voters. I want to get your thoughts on the other side. Check this out.
Former President Trump leading Biden 49 to 45% among registered voters, but when you
Let's see
look
if he
at the
accepts it.
numbers, things start to get really bleak for the Democrats. Voters younger than 35, 48% now supporting Trump, and 47% Biden. I can't even read. I'm so shocked. And among Latino voters, Trump's getting 46%, which would be historic for a Republican.
So you know when I knew this was breaking bad for Democrats and Trump was
Almost every Hispanic I know
and by the way,
is a lot more conservative than liberal.
I never understood. I knocked on a lot of them. I ran for office in Maryland. They got a huge push in black voters. I got just destroyed. But when you knock on the door and you actually go and talk to them, you know, I would say to people, they'd be like, "You Republican or Democrat?" I said, "I'm not going to tell you." I said, "Just give me like 30 seconds. Let me tell you what I believe in, and then you tell me what I am." And then they would say, "You're a Democrat." I'd say, "No, I'm a Republican." I talk about like school choice and stuff, and I realized, like, gosh, a lot of these voters are really confused because the media lies to them all the time. But why do you think Trump's like kind of cracked that code?
Well, I think there are a couple of things. Let me do the segment black and white on the gray issues where I just go. Let me go one. Just going into a barber shop and just talk. Black Americans, and they are the moderate wing of the Democratic Party. They tend to be very traditional in gender roles, right? They're not into the LGBTQIP business. They tend to be very patriotic. They think that there are flaws, but a lot of them appreciate America certainly more than white suburban women. So I think it's a messaging thing. It's that the media has been in charge of a lot of it. I think they're the most important component there, because I also have some of these polls. I don't know which polls Fox News was using, but there was New York Times polls, and those are still really good. So for example, they only had Donald Trump at like 22% of the black vote, and they had him within 8 points with the Latino vote. So in other words, this is the New York Times. It's really good. But the most telling thing there is the 18 to 29-year-olds from the New York Times poll had Biden only up by 1. 18 to 29-year-olds. Here's the thing. If you were to not change the black vote at all, I'm not saying that you should, but if you were to not gain any more Hispanic votes at all, and you just mitigated the losses with under 35, within 10 points, Republicans would never lose another election.
No, there's no math.
Yeah, that's the thing. And then if they could just if they could grab about 15% of white female voters, it wouldn't even be close. So that's what's most shocking to me, because black people still only make up 13% of the population. They vote. The vote turnout is very low comparatively to white Americans, but that under 35, the fact that that's within striking distance, that is a tectonic shift. And I think the reason it's happening is, and this is just an opinion, I don't know, but I'm not a political analyst, is one thing that's universal: people hate feeling like they've had the wool pulled over their eyes.
Right?
They really don't.
Yeah.
Because everyone's had someone get screwed. It's a bad mechanic. In other words, like sometimes we can't relate to the evil of Hamas and Israel because we don't live in that. But we all know being screwed by someone who's...
There's a fundamental feeling of like fairness more than anything. Like you would rather have less food to eat when you're hungry than being satiated and having another guy get more food than you. You're like, no, I got fucked.
Yeah,
like, even though you don't want
screwed
to.
You on if he did it through underhanded means. And so I think what's happening now is, the best thing Biden could do is never compare himself to Trump on the economy or on foreign policy. He keeps doing it. And so when you keep telling people the economy is great, even people who are liberals, I don't know if they're becoming conservative, they're going, now you're lying to me, because everyone out there knows that we are worse off economically. Everyone out there knows that now we're involved in these proxy wars. And so they don't like having the wool pulled over their eyes. That's why I think you're seeing this number shift toward Trump across the board, because they're going, maybe he was a dick, but he wasn't lying to me like you are. You can only lie to people in the face of their experience for so much before they turn on you. I think that's what's happening.
You know what I totally screwed up? Because we should have got that Dave Chappelle SNL. Remember, you ever see the Dave Chappelle at SNL about Trump?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
What you just said, he freaking nailed it. He's like, and he looked over to Hillary Clinton about the tax code, and he said, I use the tax code, and that's why I don't pay higher taxes. And then he some shit like, and he goes, and you won't change it because your friends benefit. He goes, and a star was born.
Yep.
Dude, you just nailed it. All right, I'm on one more, and then I'm on more than some other stuff, including the worst soundbite ever from a politician. This is Vivek. I want to get your take on the...
Oh, I thought it was going to be Hitler.
No, not next. It's later on in the show. Pull up Vivek. I'm sorry, guys, to skip ahead if I'm like messing up your production here. Here's Vivek calling out Ron, who runs the RNC. Your thoughts on this? Check this out.
We become a party of losers at the end of the day. We have cancer the Republican establishment. Let's speak the truth. I mean, since Ron McDaniel took over as chairwoman of the RNC in 2017, we have lost 2018, 2020, 2022, no red wave that never came. We got trounced last night in 2023. And I think that we have to have accountability in our party. For that matter, Ron, if you want to come on stage tonight, you want to look the GOP voters in the eye and tell them you resign, I will yield my time to you.
Listen, Steve, I'm kind of agnostic. So I really don't give a fuck. Like, I never pay attention to the RNC either. Like, unless it was like you or a friend of mine in charge of it. Like, I just don't donate there. I donate to individuals, so I really don't care. But having said that, Vivek is another one that, like Trump, kind of gets the pulse.
Yeah.
That was probably like the best opening statement I've heard in a long time. Where I was like, you know, when Tim Scott was talking, it's a nice guy, but you just want it to be over. You want to hear, you want to hear the next guy talk. When he was, I was sitting there like, wow, man, like he really nailed it on that.
Yeah, and he, you know, we did an Ash Wednesday where we sat down with him. This was after the second debate. We told him, like, hey, what happened to the first debate? First debate, you came out, you were throwing bombs. Second one, you were trying to be buddies with them. And he said, you know, I know. And he went back out and he was true to form, at least his original form. So, yeah, look, Romney is awful. If you look at her record, it's a losing record. This Romney girl. So that's a valid point. And I will say, I think Ron DeSantis, great governor, has done great work. The primary concern that people have is not who he is, but in order to run nationally, who he has to be involved with. And you know, and by the way, it doesn't mean that these are bad people. What it means is they have a way of doing things, and they're out of touch with the actual voter, the RNC. So that's why you go, how is Ron DeSantis doing so poorly considering the lead that he had? It's not necessarily Ron DeSantis. It's the people saying, no, you need to do it this way, Ron. And so I think Vivek is trying to separate himself from the pack. A lot of the criticisms, a lot of people are saying, is he just saying what we want to hear? What level of experience does he have? But I think it's important that at least someone is pointing it out. We need to have these different ideas.
Yeah, it kind of irks me. So now, listen, this is like talking about like inauthenticity being the problem. Is there a more inauthentic mofo anywhere in the country than Gavin Newsom? French slick back hair, dude. This dude is the. I want you to listen to this one. This may be the single worst folks. This is a stand-up. Like, here's my. I would kiss. Put your lips on my ass. Lips.
You don't have to invite me twice.
Patch him to my ass moment. I've never seen a politician say kiss my ass better than this guy. Here's Gavin Newsom. Keep in mind, he lords over California, descending into chaos. You can't even find a freaking U-Haul because it's like Snake Plissken escaped from LA surfing on the thing. The place is falling apart. There's homeless people shitting in the streets everywhere. They finally clean up San Francisco for the commies, and Gavin Newsom says this.
I know folks say, oh, they're just cleaning up this place because all those fancy leaders are coming into town. That's true, because it's true.
Yeah.
Wait, is that not it?
Yeah.
Right on the ass?
Yeah.
Just like, kiss my big ass, you voter.
He's just, you're like, oh, there's gotta be another half to this. Oh, there isn't.
Right.
You're just
I'm going to apologize. I'm going to explain something. There was some federal edict in the way, and Secret Service waived it or something. He's like, no, it's just a big fuck you guy.
Yeah, he's like, well, look, he's like, we can't have the leader of the CCP covered in human shit, can we?
Where's Gerald?
That's for you. Oh, we didn't know. We
Can we comment? Like, can we bring him in at all?
Oh, we can bring him in. I
love Gerald.
We keep him under the
feel
stage.
like we've neglected Gerald.
Oh, he's going to be in later. He might be working on something.
Gerald, man, you got to come. I love this.
I will tell you though. I will challenge you. One person more disingenuous. Gretchen Whitmer, Michigan. She's the worst I've ever seen.
Yeah, you know what? Remember when she like blocked off like certain sections of the store during COVID, and then her husband was outside like on the lake like fishing and shit?
I know the guy who operated the boat lift, where her husband called. I know the guy there up in northern Michigan.
All right, Gerald. I feel like it's not really a show.
And he said,
Gerald, I can't move on from this segment without getting your thoughts on the Crew for the hair product. This is Gavin Newsom probably uses a quarter gallon of Crew every single day. So he's out in the French Laundry. He tells everyone,
good restaurant.
Yeah, beautiful, I'm sure. It's probably one of those places that does like foie gras and shit.
I heard he was more of a Dapper Dan man.
Yeah. I
want pomade, damn it.
I don't know about you guys. Like, I'm assuming you guys were probably like middle class humps like me. My dad was a plumber. My mom worked in a supermarket.
Lower middle class over
here. I prefer lower.
He had an Italian plumber dad.
So, while we're on the topic of the French Laundry, my friends like get fancy wine, dude. I don't know shit about wine, I just got into it, but it's cool. So we went to this like foo-foo wine tasting thing, which isn't really my bag of donuts, but what the fuck, I'll try it, right? But they serve food in there too, so it's one of those like 7-course meals.
Yeah.
You ever have one where you can't eat anything and you're embarrassed because he comes out, he's like, this is the foie gras with the finishing, and I'm like, give me a fucking quarter pounder. I'm not eating that shit. But then did you ever do this? I feel bad because the chef put a lot of time. So I mixed it up like I ate it and spread it around so it looked like but I didn't really eat any. Have you ever done that?
It's good cover. I'm a sommelier. I'm literally
Are you?
wine business.
What do you think of Schaefer? Like, that's my new thing.
Schaefer? That's
I
great.
love Schaefer.
Yeah, fantastic wines. But
I'm getting into like Scarecrow.
I've seen gay
Well, that's-
pride parades
that's expensive.
straighter than this conversation.
Listen, I'm new rich. I'm like, you ever see the unsinkable Molly Brown from the Titanic, the new money? That's me.
Oh,
I'm so proud that I'm not old money and I'm not cultured at all.
I love
Like, rich people are horrified around me.
I grew up eating at Steak and Ale with the petite top sirloin, like well done with a bucket of A1 sauce. So I completely understand what
I
you're
love
saying.
it.
And I got into wine after not drinking until I was 26 years old. So I understand it, and I can hook you up with some good bottles of wine.
But on that, what bothers me more than the food that they bring out is they all act, everyone there, they act like, of course. They go like, and this is the half quail on the seashell. You're like, of course, yeah, the half quail on the seashell. Yeah, so obviously, so I don't spread it around. I just put it in their face. Like, let's
Like, this isn't good enough
yeah,
for me.
I'm not doing this.
Someone bring me out of Five Guys.
Like, if someone just
We're
says,
in Texas. What if we got a shout out? Whataburger.
Yeah.
We got. I mean, Texas. God forbid you don't say that shit.
but if someone just who works there goes like, look, I'm a server. Like, of course we don't eat this shit at home. Like, this is obviously a gimmick. And then, okay, I'll try it. It's a novelty. But they act as though they all know. That's what bothers me. Of course I'll try new things. I'm pretty open-minded to food. I'm not a picky eater. But when they just act like, yes, of course, this is a seafoam roulade or whatever. It's like, what? What am I eating the ocean? What are you talking about?
I'm always embarrassed though. They come out and tell you like this is a reduction. I go, I don't know what that is, bro. Like, what does that even
They just
mean?
make this.
Well, that's what I'm doing with your tip.
They just it's reductioning all the time.
But Gerald, because I love you guys' show, and it's not a good show.
Thank you.
Your thoughts on Newsom? Like, I think this guy, and maybe Gretchen Whitmer. You're right, maybe a little phonier. But I think everybody's like afraid Newsom's going to jump in, which I don't think Biden's going to be the nominee. I do think Newsom's going to come in, but I don't think powerhouse we think he is. I think this guy'd be so easily exposed by even like a semi-decent politician because he's such a phony.
My problem with that, and I agree with you that be easily exposed, my problem, I don't think they care on the left. I don't think the exposure of Gavin Newsom, because Gavin Newsom, I think he was the mayor of San Francisco and then became the governor of California. I spoke to one of his business partners at a winery because he was a part owner of three wineries out of Napa Valley. And he told me Gavin has been repairing.
Is he Plump Jack?
His entire life. Yeah,
What's Plump Jack?
Kate, and Odette, those three.
Because I was
Now,
in a
they're very good
restaurant
wines, and this guy is an
I know. I didn't know this. So I got these this friend on my block from me. He's like a super rich cat. Like he said, but he's a nice guy. He didn't act like that.
Great wine.
So they're always embarrassed because I always come out in a t-shirt, like even in these places. And one day they were like, "Hey, try this wine on." They brought out this Plump Jack, and my friend's like, who's a huge conservative. I love this guy. He's an Orthodox. He's like, he put up like the garlic and the cross for the nose for the rocket. He's like, get that shit out of here. Sommelier guy. I was like, whoa, is that shitty wine? He goes, no, it's all right. He goes, that's Gavin Newsom's. I said, bro, if someone gets me in a picture in a restaurant drinking Gavin Newsom's wine, he saved my ass. I might have been fired.
It's the Getty family, I believe, Gavin Newsom, and then there's one other guy. But one of the co-owners of that winery is actually a very cool, relatively conservative guy, and it's a hard space to be conservative in. A lot of those Napa wine growers, they're very conservative, but if you get to the upper echelons, it tends to go a little bit further left. I don't think that people accurately estimate the challenge that we will have on the Republican side with somebody like a Gavin Newsom. He has no soul. He will do anything to get to that office. His entire life is built around becoming president of the United States, period. Nothing else matters to this.
Do you ever see the Adam Carolla clip with him? When Carolla, when he just dismantles him. It's like 10 years old.
Yeah.
He came on Adam Carolla's pod, and Carolla, he's trying to make the case about some racial thing, and Carolla just eats this guy's lunch, and he's like, well, I understand why don't black people have it? And he's like, he doesn't want to say it, but you can tell like Newsom just didn't have an answer. I gotta take a quick break. My last break, 2 spots. I want to get to the self-defense thing because you roll and stuff, and I always want you to get Joe. You're not going anywhere.
I'm sitting here.
Okay, cool. All right, spots. This is important stuff. This guy's paid for the show. You guys shoot. I Target Pro, man. There's so money. You got to train. Remember the video I showed you? We're going to go into this next about that attempted home invasion. I've been telling you for months, you got to prepare. It's not good enough to have a gun, folks. You got to know how to use it, or else it's going to be dangerous to you too. You got to practice and practice a lot. I got a great gift idea. Get the iTarget Cube today. It's what I train with. It's what's great about the cubes, you can put them in different spots, which is more realistic for training. You can practice clearing drills, sequential drills, set it to random mode to test your skills against multiple targets, all while the system times your speed. Right now, save 20% on iTarget Cube, plus get free shipping with the offer code Dan20. That's Dan20 checkout. Just go to itargetpro.com. That's the letter I, targetpro.com. iTarget comes in most calibers from 9mm to 223. You can train with almost any firearm. It's easiest, most cost-effective way, vouch for folks to train and pay for itself in a single day. It's the letter itargetpro.com, itargetpro.com, offer code Dan20. And our last sponsor, Genucel. You ever wonder how I look so young?
Yeah.
Thanksgiving is 1 week away. It's the best Genucel skincare of the year, just in time for the holidays. Genucel skincare most popular package is back. You look stunning for those Thanksgiving gatherings. With the brand new Genucel 3 also included in your most popular package, you can do 10, 15, and 20 years under guarantee. The best natural skincare in. Here's Sonny from Illinois. We love you, Sonny. I give Genucel skincare 5 stars because the products do exactly what they promise. It's working. I love all the products. Highly recommend it. Take advantage of the Genucel skincare bestseller of the year. Say goodbye to fine lines, crow's feet, bags and puff, laugh lines, and dark spots. The Genucel experience is like no other. Don't take my word for it, though. You'll look and feel your absolute best, or your money back. No questions asked. Go to Genucel.com/Dan for incredible holiday discount, better than 70% off on Genucel Skincare's most popular package with Genucel 3 and Dark Spot Corrector. And for results in 12 hours or less, the immediate effects is included free. Go to Genucel.com/Dan, Genucel.com/Dan now for a free upgrade to priority shipping and checkout. That's Genucel.com/Dan. Thanks, Genucel. We appreciate it. Steve, one favor, with you and Gerald both.
Pass on the left. Pass on the left.
We gotta play. Wait, we gotta play. But I just want to say before I go, I knew I'd have a good time with you motherfuckers because I
Now
have.
you're gonna piss me off.
But given that this has been such a blast, when I open my studio, you gotta come out. I'll fly out. Whatever you gotta.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you gotta bring me.
Yeah, we should. As long as we'll probably have to do our show from your studio because
That's what we'll do.
Yeah.
Switch it around. All right, folks, you gotta watch this. These guys, the Crowder team's awesome. They put this Rolla and Gavin Newsom getting his ass absolutely handed to him. This is glorious. Check this out.
Half of African Americans in the state of California, roughly half of Latino families, have no access to a checking account or an ATM. Things we take for granted. They don't have a checking.
What's wrong with that?
What's wrong? Because they don't have the resources to sock those things away.
Why do we have?
Why do we
A lot
have?
of different reasons, but roughly half those families don't. Where do they
Why do
end up?
Armenians have them?
So where do they end up? Is by a cashing place.
I want to know why those groups. Why those two groups don't have access.
A lot of it just happens to be that we can talk about. No, they're hardly flawed, but they're struggling.
Genetics
are making their work hard.
Do Asians have this problem?
I mean, a lot of communities have a lot of.
Sounds like it's cranky.
It's not just black and Hispanic.
No, but
Why you bring up black and
it's because the magnitude is ominous.
Well, why so many of them?
It just happens to be.
Just have to make that planet.
Not at all.
Well, what's happened to
There
them?
are a lot of issues. The communities are struggling. A lot of different reasons. Lack of
Hispanics have been
opportunity.
here. Blacks have been here longer than we've been here.
We can surmise.
What about Asians? They were put in internment.
Initiated out in San Francisco.
All right.
The Chinese Exclusion Act came
So
out.
they the check cash? Are they the check cash?
A lot of Asians certainly do.
So why don't you because
The only reason why.
Tell me about Western Union.
there's so many more,
The magnitude and percentage.
but there's no way to figure out how that happened.
We can talk about it. You know what I'm dealing with? I don't want to have a sociological debate. I want to deal with
you?
reality.
No,
Here's why.
Why would you want to do that? Because the person from the Times wouldn't write good things about you if you did that.
No, that's not the case because I
You
want to
don't
deal
want
with
to get into
reality.
that.
No,
You want to deal with reality.
I want to deal with people that.
Well done.
Is that not the way to handle that shit? Why?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, what's happened to them?
Yeah, I was
Is this genetics? What about the Asians?
at MAL back in the day when I was like begging to be on any show. I was like such a loser in the business, and you're like, you'll take anything. No, I was like a scrub. It was like 10 years ago. And WMAL, which we're actually on now, is one of our stations in DC. They were like, do a weekend show for like whatever. So you're like, yeah, you come in. I get a caller at the end. I swear, although it was short, I had almost the exact same interaction. The guy was against school choice, and I kept, it's like a 30-second call, but I'm going to try to find the tape one day. Bottom line is, I keep trying to get out of the guy who keeps insisting black parents are somehow incapable of choosing where the kids go. Why? Like, just if you're a racist, like, just say it, bro.
Yeah.
Like, stop dicking around and just say it.
I know. It really is. The school choice thing is, I've challenged my audience anyone. Offer me a valid argument against school. No one can do it. Where I'm just saying, look, before we can get to school choice, just school vouchers, meaning instead of just sending it to a school, attach the money to the student. Before we even get to reducing the funding, every time I've had that conversation with someone who's even a hardcore down, they go, yeah, okay, that makes sense. The only argument they try and make is, well, it's racist because then the black kids who are in neighborhoods where they have bad schools may not be able to travel. To give it right now, they have no hope. They have no choice. Right. They're stuck at least they can maybe get on a bicycle and go to another school. Like, it's not going to be worse off. So it's one of those issues where, yeah, it's just, the left is so incredibly racist. I mean, a good example is like you're going to get to the New York subway story, but think about all of these, stop Asian hate. Remember that was a hashtag?
Oh, yeah. When they thought they could blame conservatives.
Yes, they thought, and then they saw, oh, wait, there's a disproportionate.
But now the same people in the street, like, kill the Jews, and nobody's saying anything.
Well, they use them.
It's the craziest thing. Do you ever, isn't this nuts? Like, you know what? Because if I got this is.
Well, you have to say something because the last thing you said was kill the Jews.
No.
So make sure you.
And the other day, what did I say? I was on the radio show, and my producer's like, "You realize you just said Nazi?" Oh, I said no. I said you cannot see. It's kind of like saying master.
Yes, but we know what you meant.
You gotta like one time I was talking about how this guy Trump is a master debater, and I said it too quick. And master debater, he said, "Whoa!" He's not like beating off on stage. Like I said, master. Now I pause.
I would never need to. Never beat my knee. Not once, folks, because all the ladies love me.
And when you say I cannot see, and you need to separate that. I want to get to the self-defense thing because, like I said, you and I share something in common, and my audience loves it, especially if we can give them some tips. But you said something before that is so spot on. I'm 48. I'm nobody's tough guy anymore. I get my ass kicked tomorrow. I get arthritis all over the place. But back in the day when I was rolling with these guys, like, people, and especially dudes, overestimate their ability in the street to handle themselves. They've seen a Bruce Lee movie, a Chuck Norris movie. So, hey guys, can we play the police one first? I'm sorry. I want to get to the shooting one second. This is a police officer in the subway, Stephen. I always tell people, as you know, you got to control the hips. You'll see this guy gets it. And you'll see he's in that mid-range, which is like the worst spot.
Either be out or be in.
Yes, see, folks, you're either out or you're in. Your mid-range, you're gonna get effed up. Here, watch this. There you see?
He's in the danger zone.
No, it's the worst. He's getting pounded right there. He's getting pounded. And by the way, folks, I'm only more than coordinate. This guy's a solid guy.
Yeah.
He's, we can all learn shit.
Well, you have to understand these police officers get maybe a week of hand-to-hand training.
Yeah,
and they'll stay up to it.
You can't learn that.
No, you can't.
See, he's got him, and they always go for the head. Every single time they go for the head, every single time, right?
And by the way, that is what the guy is doing to the cop is please suplex me city if the cop knew what he was doing.
If he's grabbing around backwards, you Dan Severn.
Literally, you don't even have to. You just grab the hips, and that guy's going head first into the cop.
You see, he just said it, folks. You got to control the hips. This is the one mistake. So keep rolling this. So this guy.
All right, my friends. It is another incredible day. Let's make sure.
Fucking stupid, man. I hate it when fucking Rumble does this shit. Does it so often anymore.
couple of us jump over the fence. They follow him in. The guy's in one of these like fatal funnels, but he knows what to do right away. He does something, whether he did it by instinct or whether he did it because it was tactical. I tell people this all the time. If you're stuck and can't get away, he does something. You check this out. So here they go. They jump the fence. They're coming in. Now, this guy's in a funnel, which is already big. Watch what he does. Whether he does it by him. There we go. So
Create some space.
Create some space. There he goes. Gets his gun. Can you guys play that again? Key, you know the part I like. Watch right here. The guy comes up. Watch me. He has a coffee cup in his hand. I tell people all the time, if you are in a situation like this, option one is always get away, period. If you can get away, get away. I tell everyone, if you can't, it is a natural human instinct. If anything comes at your eyes, even if I do it now, because Steve, you're going to blink. This guy, whether he knows it or not, you see when he throws the coffee cup, the guy automatically backs, even though it's a coffee cup. Ain't going to do anything.
He's got a gun.
He's got a gun. It's like gun. Here we go. Gun, coffee cup. And the guy automatically backs up. If you've ever been in a fight, and I know you've rolled before, when you're sparring, when shit comes at your face, it's like a natural instinct.
Maybe, it wouldn't have gone down like that, though, if he had blackout coffee. Is that brutopia? Is that brutal awakening? And then it was like he'd grab his nuts, which we call monkey grabs peach in Kung Fu. I know Kung Fu. But
don't do that.
And indoctrination.
Space. Here's the thing that I will say.
I've only got 10 more minutes, JC.
You're seeing they want law and order. That man forfeited his right to live. I don't know if it's an empty gun. I don't know if he just wants to take my stuff. There are too many people who get shot, who get stabbed, who get killed, someone's on drugs. The second someone puts you in a position where it could potentially be your life or his, or your family's safety or his, guess what? You forfeit your right to live. And so I want to read more headlines. Man shoots intruders, or woman shoots even would-be rapists. Man dead in the ditch.
Can we dispel a lot of myths too? By the way, you ever been kicked in the nuts in a fight?
What you want to know? My worst nut shot story? Do you want to know?
Grappling?
No. It was my Johnny boy out there. His daughter was her 4th grade birthday party, and she had a lightsaber, and it was non-retractable. And she here's the thing: you got every guy out there. Look, you can comment below, and it helps the algorithm. She jousted, and she jousted my ball against my thigh, so it like rolled. You know what I mean? Like it had rolled, and I fell to my knees, and I was sure I was going to throw up. No, I wasn't. And she felt so bad. She was so sweet. It was an accident. But yeah, people don't. Now, that being said, if you're high in adrenaline and stuff, you're not going to feel it. The only way to subdue someone like that is take out the eyes from the equation, or choke them out. Like, you have to literally put them to the computer. You have to shut the computer down.
I love when people that these fairy tales too. They're like, punch him in the nose and he's going to, bro. You ever see a UFC fight? Guy's got no nose. His nose in the back of his head. They don't even give a shit.
Yeah.
Come on, man. They don't give a shit. You got to like, I don't want to cut your eyes, dude, you're really good. You always know you got this talent for voices.
No, I couldn't sing or dance.
Shit, man. I can't dance either.
Really? Not even half?
I'm going to tell you, I dance.
But here's the thing, too. And, you talk about this a lot. I don't want to, but I know that you talk about this.
I don't think there's anything on this channel loaded yet. I don't even know if that's turned on. I'll have to see if the ad code is even turned on, or you could try it.
The amount of lives saved, according to sources that want.
Yeah, there's no quotes there. Just do ad quote, exclamation point, ad quote, all one word,
defensive uses of firearms each,
and then whatever quote you want.
Call it 15,000 people taken. So when they say if it saves one life, well, what if it saves 2 million every single year?
Yeah. And honestly, guys, like, how many happen that the guy just doesn't report it?
Yeah,
I mean, there are probably some people out there.
Needs to be
bygones be bygones. Like, let's just let this go.
Yeah.
But yeah, last topic, because this is, and then we'll roll over, and then we're doing your show. I gotta sit.
Bongino and Crowder did a show together this morning.
Like a big rumble. By the way, thank you to Rooney. He's got a little statue here going.
Hey, that's supposed to be glued to the desk. What's going on, guys? Did he just Hulk that and didn't even realize it?
Yeah, like Captain
Joe Lewis kept knocking it over when he come in.
Door hammer, like only I can do it.
Yeah.
It's like a fucking Marvel movie.
The Guinea and the Stone. Hey,
come on! I pulled it. Come over, Joe. Trying to lift that up. That's hilarious. So you guys, I was really pissed about this story because you guys did a huge.
There you go.
Service.
That's a good one to start with.
Manifesto from the Nashville trans shooter. That thing disappeared into the ether. You damn well know if the narrative was different, it would have leaked out the next day, and every Trump supporter and every Republican, me, Steve, and everyone in this room would have been accused of being just a murder, and they hid it forever. You guys got it. You protected your sources. What pissed me off about the story is the next day I was watching a number of different outlets, and I heard one of them gave a shit, but everybody kind of like glossed over the fact that you did. It was like, it leaked to conservative. No, it didn't leak to conservative media. It leaked to the Crowder show. And I don't like that shit when people disrespect people like that. I was kind of annoyed, but that was a huge scoop.
Well, and actually on our show, which is coming up next year, you don't even need to change the channel. We have some new information regarding the manifesto. So we're still making sure to vet it right now as we speak. But no, I got to say, look, I can't take credit for it. Like the only thing I can take credit for is signing the fronts of checks and making it a part of the vision of Mug Club, right? It's like, if it were just a business decision, it wouldn't make sense. It's expensive, but they do a great job. There needs to be more investigative journalism. And I really have the luxury of complete confidence. When they come to me, they say, we have this, it's absolutely airtight. I know they've done their due diligence. And I know that when you have that, other people are going to try to dismiss it. Joe said, watch, they're going to try and say it's not real. Then when they have to acknowledge it's real, they're going to attack the messenger. And of course, you saw it, unfortunately, from some, even people on the right, where it becomes some Schwanzen measuring contest. It's like, look, we even told people, steal it, rip it, we don't care, grab it, disseminate it, just don't lie about it. And of course, you had some people who were lying about it and adding texts to the manifesto. That's why we make the original available. But yeah, this is something like, we want the whole manifesto. We had, to give you an idea of the process. So to verify these documents, I have to read this so I don't get it wrong, because the investigative team make sure you say these things so you don't reveal any sources and we're not in legal hot water. There was a source who sent this to us like a vague tip. Okay, to verify the documents, my investigative team, they met with that source who leaked the manifesto to review the original text message, right? This kind of thread, which included photos of the manifesto. Then they read through the text, verifying the chain of events where we had an insider to say, to some degree, right, I guess you would say the bit of Nashville PD, as well as a third-party source. And then we reverse searched the phone number. We sent images to that source, verifying that, in fact, it had taken place where they claimed it had taken place, that the insider who had information with the PD, in fact, did. So there was a long process before we came out with this for other people to say, no, it's not true. The mayor's going to run an investigation. They've put some officers on paid leave, which we've said, our sources are safest in their mother's arms. We will go to jail to protect them. So I appreciate everyone who's joined the Mug Club. And honestly, the first step is Rumble, getting off of YouTube and big tech. Our stuff was removed from YouTube. Right?
How do you join Mug Club? So my guys.
LottoCreditor.com/Mug Club, and you just keep watching on Rumble. So you'll watch this show today, then you'll watch our show for free on Rumble, but our show goes for another hour on Mug Club. You click that join button, you get to keep watching. But YouTube has already removed our episode with the manifesto.
Yeah. This is where I wanted to go with this, and then we'll talk about it more on your side when we switch seats here. But, I'm really into this whole police state thing for obvious reasons. I mean, one of the transformative experiences in my life is, when you're sitting there in the Secret Service Academy and you graduate and you raise your right hand, I don't know about you guys, that meant something to me. I mean, you swear an oath, it means something. And, that Constitution matters. It's not just a piece of parchment. Those values mean something. I had an uncle who, I got the Bronze Star with a V cluster. I don't even goosebumps when I talk, you can see. But, he was shot in the back in Vietnam protecting his friends. And his story, you can read it online. It's amazing. It's Gregory Ambrose. All right, it was Vietnam, wasn't the most popular war, but that flag meant something to him. And he was an idealist and he went and did it. They said, go and do this, whether you agree with the mission or not. And he died. He was 19, he's dead. So that oath means something to me. And the fact that we live in a place now where you guys do traditional, legitimate journalism. There's no way this isn't journalism. And the police state folks don't target that. They come after you. Says to me, brother, man, that Constitution don't mean to other people what it means to us.
And you know what? And this is why I never did the blanket back the blue. Because I'm going, look, there are a lot of good cops. And there are a lot of bad cops, too. And of course, when Black Lives Matter is saying that's not the solution. What we need is, we've talked about, better training, better accountability. The police unions need to be entirely restructured, right? Because police unions protect the bad officers just as much as they actually don't protect good officers like you. And we have had to talk with good police officers. We're not just talking about Nashville. We're talking about across the country, who say, look, this is a real problem within our department.
Hate the bad cops.
Yeah, they're running up against the blue wall of silence. We're going, this is wrong. And so people don't realize there's a civil war going on within local police forces. And then in certain areas, you get a bad DA, or you get a bad police chief or a commissioner, and guess what? They decide how the department operates, and those people are scared into silence. And you know what you end up with? You actually end up with the kind of police force that you don't want when you have the leftist.
Can I take this out though to the federal level too?
Yes. No,
I only got a couple minutes before we get to switch seats, and I want to get your thoughts on this for my crew that tuned in here. And just stay, by the way, we're going straight through, folks. So don't worry about it. The FBI at the federal level, I have zero faith in them. I've never in my life, I'm sorry if I'm stumbling, I just don't want to be like hyperbolic and I don't want to sound ridiculous, but I've never in my life, in my 48 years on the planet, honestly felt like the FBI was going to come knocking on my door. Like I was like, whatever, they don't do that. That's so obvious. I swear on my life, man, every day I have a glass front door. I'm like, one of these days someone's going to come up with a commission book. Do you ever feel that way?
They came knocking on mine.
Yeah, that's why I'm asking.
Yeah, no, what happened was, remember the Governor Whitmer, the kidnapping plot? There were a bunch of so there was a guy named there, and we've talked about this, a guy named Jason Chambers, Jayson Chambers. Yeah. And when back in the day, it was in Utah, Antifa was planning on killing people showing up at Ben Shapiro. I believe it was, I don't know if it was University of Utah. Was it University of Utah? So I don't know. It was in Utah, Salt Lake City. So Antifa, they handed out knives and they handed out tasers, and we caught them. And the local PD and the media did nothing. And we had a guy who was the head of the digital terrorism unit with the FBI, and nothing came of it. And I remember thinking it was really weird. Like he kept communicating back and forth. And then at one point there was some stuff that he kind of offered up that we thought, that's weird. That seems like a liability. We said, no, we're probably pretty good. And then this guy disappeared. We never heard from him again. And he was one of the people named as a Fed in the kidnapping Whitmer plot. I think what happened, this is my opinion, I think what happened is he thought he was going to sting us, relatively popular show, and then realized we're kind of basic bitch, like conservative Christians, where we weren't doing anything illegal.
Right.
So he moved on. This guy was a Fed, and he never did anything.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
never
Jason Chambers, and we still to this day cannot reach him. So if he would like to correct the record, he can. What happened is, I can just say this. He offered us at one point, because I was speaking publicly, and I was like, hey, I'm out there on stage, and we've got these death threats. What's the best kind of body armor recommendation? And he said, well, if you can use this. He said, but technically that's not civilian legal. It's only I could get it for you. And I said, you know what? I'll just get the civilian legal one, because it's not really worth the risk. I think that would have been the trap.
Oh, dude, you'd be in the clink right now.
And you can still get body armor, by the way. It's totally legal. But
Neeson would be adding another chapter posthumously.
So think about that. Here, a comedy show. Yes, we do journalism, but the comedy show.
Peace, everybody.
We had to deal with it. So
I'm gonna try and go live. We'll see. If not, it'll be this evening again.
What are you doing? Glass.
Love you all. Worky. Thanks for dropping in on indoctrinate, JC.
I'm not funny. How do you?
Is it like hockey glass?
It's just you two guys here right now.
You are funny.
I love you guys. Later.
Am I funny?
Yeah. We all think.